Hello everybody, welcome back to SheffPlays, and today we're going to be reviewing Dead Island 2, and before we get into this, I know it's a little bit late. I know there's a ton of reviews. If you hear humming in the background, it's just my mini fridge, but let's get into it. First off, I want to say I don't think it's a bad game, and I am about 8 chapters in, so there may be some spoilers. So just be warned of that. But I don't think it's a bad game. Now, do I think it holds up to today's standards? Kind of no. Because this game, if you don't know, has been trapped in development for quite a while. It's been about 2014, 2015. And in both the worst and best way possible, you can definitely tell. It's called Dead Island 2, and if you were expecting anything other than Dead Island, then I don't know what to tell you, because in my opinion, it plays a lot, like almost identical to the originals. Man, I'm not doing too hot. It's got your variants of different types of zombies. It's got all the buildables, you can put mods on your weapons, and like I have a couple that are modded. 1 second. I'm playing while I do the review, so it's more realistic. But I gotta say, man, before I get into that, the modded weapons. Now I've got, this is modded. It's got a heavy on it, so that you can, there we go, I didn't know you could see it. It's a blunt weapon on its own. It's got the base damage, maiming, you regain stamina, target limbs for critical hits. The mod that I put on it is a melee impactor, because it kind of goes hand in hand with the blunt, and it does a lot of force damage. And then there's perks, which some you can put on yourself, but most weapons do have a locked perk, which is something you can't change. And this one just increases force, and then the ones I added are you get a moderate toughness boost, and it increases my attack speed but reduces the force a little. And then like this, I have fire on it, bleeding, and higher damage but lower durability. The weapon variety it's big, but you will see a lot of similar weapons, if you know what I mean. Like a lot of the heavier weapons like this wrench, that are really nice. But then you also have your smaller weapons like the Bowie knife or the knuckles, which don't do as much damage, but they do hit faster. Like, oh, that just broke. That's another thing. When your weapon breaks, you can choose to hold on to it and sell it, or you can scrap it for modding materials. I've been opting to scrap. As you can see, I have a ton of the materials there at the top. And then you can just, in here, you don't have to do it in the menu anymore. Come in, switch out your weapons. These I actually haven't used, but I feel like it's a good example. Like, yeah, it attacked a lot faster, but it just wasn't putting out that damage that I wanted. And every enemy has its weakness. Like, these guys are slower. Burning zombies, you put them in through water like a fire hydrant or something, and then it puts them out and they lose half of their fight. Oh yeah, that's what I want to talk about. The gore system. Everyone you see talk about this game is going to mention the gore system, because it's insane. It's impeccable. Like, I've sat there and just chosen a hackier weapon. Oh man, I might die. That's a point I want to talk about too. You could choose a hackier weapon and you can really see it tear them apart, and it's kind of cool to see. If you have a sword or a machete, then you can definitely see that impact. I unfortunately haven't gotten guns yet, but I probably won't even mess with them too much when I get them. Probably long enough just to see how they play in this game, but there's a solid chance I won't even really use them that much. Just because the melee weapons are super fun. All the mods you can unlock, and they're hidden. They're really well hidden. I'm about a third of the way through the story, and I've only found 3 or 4 blueprints. I've been doing the side quests as they unlock, because they're nothing special. They're just kind of goofy. Uh, like I just did one not too long ago, where you're helping a girl record a video for the internet because she wants to be famous. Um, and you know, it's always just little goofy things. They never take too long, but they're worth it for the experience points. And leveling up is really good. Like it's fairly decently paced. It doesn't feel too slow. It doesn't feel like you're leveling up too fast and getting overpowered. It feels pretty much where you'd want it. Now, downsides, for me personally, the game itself is not one. I've seen some people saying they don't really care for it because it just feels like the old Dead Islands too much. But it, I think it's a good change of pace. It doesn't feel like it's trying to reinvent the wheel. It's a zombie hack and slash, and it does that really well. Like, I'll put on a weapon real quick so you can see the hack and slash. We throw on my machete. But a lot of people might not like that. That it plays so much like, yeah, like that. That it plays so much like the original games. But, you know, for me, it's not a big deal. I just played through the other two games again, and I had a really fun time. I personally enjoy it, and if you really love the older ones, you will. But something that I've seen a couple people talk about, one of which being Moist Critical, Penguin Zero, Charlie, whatever you want to call them, is the hits. When you take hits in this game, you really don't flinch unless you're being knocked down by the big guys. But a lot of the time, you won't know you're being hit until you're dead. That's happened to me quite a few times. I could be wrong here, but I haven't noticed any money loss when you die, like the originals. But at the same time, even if you did, it wouldn't be a big deal. Because, like, I have 34 grand right now, and I don't really spend money. I don't really mod my weapons because I don't repair them. There's such an influx of weapons constantly that you don't really need to. To me at least, it just doesn't feel necessary. And right here I'll mod a weapon real quick. Which one did I just get? Puncture, Cremator, Impactor. So we'll do this one. That's going to add bleeding damage. And then for perks, damage but reduces ability, durability, increases limb damage and durability. And I think that's the first one I've seen that has two positives to it. Yeah, I'll do that. And then, okay, so this doesn't support the mod that I just got. I like that. The weapon looks a lot different. And, yeah, that's another thing I guess that's important really quick before I give it a rating and close off the video, is not every blueprint will work with every weapon. It's like the original game a lot in that sense, where it has to be a specific type. And I think that's fine because it makes more sense with the archetype of the weapons and whatever you're trying to do. Like, putting something that increases bleeding on a blunt weapon wouldn't make as much sense. Whereas if you put it on like an axe or claw gloves, whatever you want to call them, that would make more sense. But yeah, you know, this has been my review. I think I'm going to do ratings out of 10. And I think this one, for what it's worth, is a solid 8 out of 10. It's a fun time. It's pretty smooth. Not too difficult. There is no difficulty option. You just kind of have to play the game. Whether you have to farm for experience and get better weapons or you just run through it like I am. But it also does feel like a game that was trapped in development for 10 years. Or 8 years, whatever. But yeah, I'll give it an 8. Do I recommend getting it at full price? Probably not. It probably won't take too long to go on sale. But, you know, do what you want to do. But do I recommend it in the long run? Definitely. It's got that nostalgic fun to it. So, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you're having a good day. If you're watching early on, have a good rest of your day. And, I'll see you in the next one.